them sing and beat you drum. Make you suggestions, encourage them on to walk the straight and narrow in the land. Politics, religion, and economic issue, regional, international, spiritual issues too, agricultural, environmental, and trending to subject matter. We fear none, we back down. Freedom of speech is enshrined in the land. God, we freedom, jealous and they in Cuba, Russians and Chinese and lucky like we. Right now, North Korea, wish they had it too. Most of the Caribbean, lucky like we. Studio Galaxy Day for you and me. Galaxy Equalizer, ready like Freddy. And Studio Galaxy 473 in Confero. We freedom of speech is sacrosanct. Make use of it. Let no one challenge. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and share, subscribe and discuss it too. Let the world know Studio Galaxy is around. Galaxy in Confero, hope you know. 473 standing strong is yours, you know. The medium, an opportunity for you. Make your contribution, let them know. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and share, subscribe and discuss it too. Let the world know Studio Galaxy is a road. Russians and Chinese and lucky like we. Rand and North Korea wish they had it too. Most of the Caribbean lucky like we. Studio Galaxy Day for you and me. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and share, subscribe and discuss it too. Let the world know Studio Galaxy is around.
Welcome, brothers and sisters. Welcome. We're back with you again, and today is Saturday. And we're in the middle of September. That is the month that perhaps Grenadians are, I don't want to use the word afraid, apprehensive. They don't looking as if they're afraid, but maybe the blood running cold because on the 22nd would be the birthday of Janet, and on the 7th was Ivan. But Studio Galaxy 473 in Confero is back with you today again. All we ask is that you subscribe to our program. Give us a blight. Because based upon this YouTube program, the more blight you get, the more rich you are. Give us a blight. And irrespective of what, we provoke discussion. And today, we asking the question, is the government developing the pineapple industry or not? You see, the government has just brought in the country, purchased about 70,000 pineapple plants. That is a lot. Normally, when you get a pineapple, you have 6 or 7 plants on the side of the pineapple. I heard that the plant on top does take too longer to bear. But, So if you bring in 70,000 pineapple plant, you're supposed to have a plan. What you say, Joshua?
Absolutely. We need a plan. We need an agricultural plan, yet alone a pineapple plan. The pineapple plant, I believe, was part of the World Food Program that's been badly delayed, but it's finally here. I mean, pineapple is something that has a lot of potential. I suspect the farmers who are getting the plants have already been identified, and the agronomists and extension officers are probably working with them. I'm not sure how they decide who would get water in terms of pineapples, but it's a good thing overall because there's a high demand for pineapples in the hotel industry. And there's a high demand for mixed fruits in Grenada. You know, sometimes you see people selling like fruit bowls on the roadside. And it's very occasional, I see that. But that needs to be done, all year round because we have the climatic condition and people always want to moisten them out, etc. We also have to sell those things in the hotels and within government institutions. So I think the pineapple is a good potential input. Now, I know that, you know, in an earlier conversation, I was talking with Mr. Pierre about the pineapple, and he was saying something that is very, very important to people like myself. He was saying what type of pineapple, because apparently the pineapple, if any of you listening know about pineapple, you know the pineapple has a tendency to kind of bruise your hand when you're trying to work with it, etc. He was saying, is it the ones that are prickly or is it the one that are not?
Spineless.
Pineless. So I know very little about that, but he will tell you about it, and that makes a big difference in terms of things. So all kudos to the initial people who brought in the pineapple, because this was agreed probably about 4 years ago in terms of the World Food Program. And this probably is just a continuation of that. So I'm looking forward to not only the first set of people getting pineapple plants, but if the plants are going to make another, what, Mr. Pierre, 4 or 5?
Six. You get about 6 or 7 plants
6 or 7.
every time you fruit.
Yeah. So that means other
In the
people.
space of 5-10 years, we could export plants.
Yeah. And that's very good. So that means that other farmers who've not been part of the program on the first rung have an opportunity to get onto the program, because I know, that I was looking forward to planting some pineapples because I knew about the program a while ago. Unfortunately, nobody contacted me. But I have been involved in other programs, so I'm not crying anything.
But the thing about it, I would say it doesn't matter who get plant first.
Yeah.
Because if you bring in 70,000 pineapple plants in Grenada, in the next 5-6 years, the question is, does government have a plan, or they vooping? Or they just gambling?
Yeah.
What is the plan? Because if you're going to bring in 70,000 pineapple plants, did you bring the plants to replace nutmeg and cocoa? Obviously, the plants might be more resistant to hurricane because it's closer to the ground. What is your plan?
Yeah.
Do you have a ready market for the plant?
Mm-hmm.
Because Grenadians don't eat so much a raw pineapple. They use it to make juice.
Yeah.
And they use it to make tart.
Yeah.
But because the confectionery industry could be in serious trouble, they may not bother much.
Yeah.
So if you're going to increase the amount of pineapple that you grow in your country, see, that's serious increase.
Yeah.
70,000 plants.
Yeah.
Pineapple take about 18 months, 2 years.
Yeah.
12 months, 2 years.
Yeah, but put it this way, Mr. Pierre, there's probably now maybe close to 120,000 of us. 70,000.
What you say there?
That's close to 100.
You mean Donald Trump will send back much Grenadian? Much will come back. But you see, Grenadians doesn't behave so bad in America. We must give ourselves a clap on the back.
Yeah.
Them Jamaicans going gang and all that, they're not great.
Yeah.
So
Be,
Donald Trump has sent out.
be careful.
We sent out more from the country over the last 4 years than what Donald Trump sent in.
Yeah. So basically, what I was trying to say is that there's 1 in 2 gonna get a pineapple plant based on the number.
Well, everybody don't have to get pineapple plants, but what you need, the main farmers who have these pineapple plants,
Mm-hmm.
do we have a plan?
Mm-hmm.
One of the plan is marketing. Pineapple is about $5 a pound on the market now.
5? I
Yeah.
think it's about 7.
Well,
Yeah.
normally I'll sell it.
If I get 5, it's a good.
Well, you always buy from me. You get it cheaper when you come by. But once you have this massive investment in pineapple, the production will increase and the price will drop seriously.
Yeah, I hope.
So a pound of pineapple could end up $2 or $3.
Not so low. Maybe $3, $4.
Unless the government have a market. We have an export market for the plant.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Do the government have a plan to develop the pineapple industry, or the government just whooping?
Yeah.
They're gambling.
Yeah. I mean, the evidence we've seen to date is that it doesn't appear to be, there doesn't appear to be a coordinated plan in terms of a strategic plan or a recovery plan in the ministry. These are projects that have rolled over to the current government. I'm not sure whether they've revisited and made new plans, but as you say, Mr. Pierre, it's critical that there is a plan so people know what they're doing, because the marketing aspect of the business is so important. The technical aspect about growing and having the right farmers, right conditions, etc., it is very important. But if you grow and at the end of the day, you have no way to send your pineapple, it's a difficult thing. And on the program, we've talked about the cottage industry. This is where, if we have a proper coordinated agriculture sector, all these things will be kind of interlinked, coordinated, so we know where we're going before we plant one pineapple. But I'm not sure. I don't want to say the government don't have a plan, but I'm not aware of a plan.
That is why we're asking, is the government developing the pineapple industry? Are they gambling? Are they whooping?
Yeah.
We don't know. So we're asking questions.
Yeah. And
what message does the cocoa and nutmeg farmer get in today? You bring in 70,000 pineapple plant and you're giving it out to farmers. I don't know if the farmers, and it doesn't matter which farmers that get it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it doesn't matter.
No.
We don't know if the farmer have to pay for it. What message are you sending to nutmeg and cocoa farmers, particularly those that were seriously affected from the hurricanes? Are you saying to them, try pineapple instead? You see, you have to be very careful.
But pineapple is a better bet.
No, we have a market for cocoa.
Yeah,
we have a market for nutmeg.
Yeah.
Are you encouraging Grenadian farmers to plant pineapple instead? You see, that may not be the government intention. But if the government don't have an express intention, the farmer might interpret that the government seems to be shifting. Do we have a market for pineapple? I ask the question, the pineapple you're bringing in, is it a spineless pineapple? One of the challenges some farmers have with pineapple is cleaning. The workers don't want to clean the pineapple because of the spines. A Grenadian worker don't custom wearing gloves in their hand. You understand that? They don't custom wearing gloves to clean. Now, if we're going to bring in pineapple, the pineapple we're bringing, is it the spineless one? The brittle. Less brittle on it. I know the French had some spineless pineapple. Do we have a plan?
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to, the farmers we giving the pineapple, are we encouraging them to keep sheep so they could graze the sheep between the pineapple so they do not have to weed?
Yeah. Or are we arranging with marketing board to buy all the
Marketing
pineapples?
board existing still? They don't know. They contaminate marketing board, they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Does the government have a plan? You
Mhm.
see, what worries me plenty, a good idea, a good project might cause destruction.
Mhm.
Because if the cocoa and nutmeg farmers who are on the edge, who is being troubled, who is not being assisted, believes that the government is putting out pineapple. Remember, the Prime Minister offered black pepper. But if you feel the government is pushing pineapple,
Mhm.
then you have to be careful.
Yeah.
Will the government cut down the cocoa or ignore the cocoa
Mhm.
and plant pineapple?
Mhm.
Now, do we have a potential foreign market for pineapple?
Mhm.
Because 70,000 plants in Grenada in the next 2 years, let's suppose they plant it and everything go right.
Mhm.
In the next 2 years, we'll have serious pineapple on the market.
Yep. Absolutely.
And if the farmer ain't get sale,
Mhm.
pineapple go be kicking dog.
Yeah.
Dog go be kicking pineapple.
Yeah. Yeah. But the potential is there for success if it's managed properly, technically, if the marketing is done, and if there's we talk about guaranteed markets, whether it's export or internal, but I believe that we have good potential for pineapples. I haven't done the figures before, but I know some pineapple farmers. I have a friend who has about 5 acres of pineapple, and it looks beautiful. It's in St. David's. It's high up, and he does really really well. And the 5 acres cannot touch the demand that there is, and he sells to about 2 or 3 hotels. I think I'm not sure how much an acre holds of pineapple, whether it's 500 or
You don't
1,000
have
or
no
whatever.
cocoa.
No, no.
The guy who does pie, you see, that is where we have to have a plan.
You have no cocoa. He
And
has
we have to be careful what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
We have to know what message that
Mm-hmm.
we sending to our farmers.
Mm-hmm.
If are you replacing some of the traditional crops?
Mm-hmm.
When the Prime Minister of Grenada was offering black pepper, it seems that he was offering as a substitute. Hurricane Beryl Pass,
Mm-hmm.
the areas that was principally affected was Carriacou and St. Patrick's.
Mm-hmm.
But some people in St. Andrews get a little thing too.
Yeah.
Now, what is the message that was sent? To
Mm-hmm.
revive, to rehabilitate, to encourage farmers to go back seriously in cocoa and nutmeg.
Yeah.
We beg the Nutmeg Association and Cocoa Association to put out information on husbandry practice.
Uh-huh.
Now they are hearing you bring 70,000 pineapple plants.
Mm-hmm.
Is it to replace cocoa?
Or is it in addition to cocoa?
Is it to complement? Is it addition? Are you targeting the farmers that planting bamboo, bacano, and baliji? Who are the farmers are you targeting?
Mm-hmm.
What is the situation? Because one of the challenges with pineapple is the cleaning. A lot of farmers avoid pineapple because you have to go down on the ground and clean it. And it is tedious.
Mm-hmm.
Those farmers you provide the pineapple plants for, did you give them the husbandry practice? Are you encouraging them to use sheep to clean between the pineapple?
Mm-hmm.
Now we have too much I always say too much highly certificated, too much well trained individuals
Yeah.
for us to be making blunders.
Yeah. And my thing is, are you using the same people in terms of these plants or kind of implementing these plants, and have those people have any record of success in terms of having run similar implementation plan? And I think that's key, because I think quite often these plans are run out by the wrong people. I'm a strong supporter that the people who should be running these plans out are technical people and business people, not just the technical people. And I think that is where sometimes we make fundamental mistake. We know how to grow the plant, or semi how to grow the plant, but we don't know who we're selling it to. And if we kind of keep doing this approach that doesn't work, and we get the same people back again because they are our friends or they used to work in the ministry, and now this is a time for a blight for them, but there's no record of success from them. And we just replicate what is a good project, good potential, sounds good, but that's really in terms of end result. If we should get about 80%, we're looking at 20% in terms of success rate. And I think these things are really unacceptable. The monitoring and evaluation in terms of these international projects, yeah, that we get, it's not free money. We need to have value for money in terms of these projects. The other thing that is very much on my mind this last week is, I keep hearing people saying that farmers quality. And I keep saying to people, do not say that. That narrative is a narrative from people who are enemies of agriculture and farmers. The approach that has to be taken is the same all over the world. Now, all over the world, we have grading of products. So you'll have pineapples who are grade A, you'll have pineapples that are grade B, you have pineapple that are grade C, and each of them tend to have a slightly different market. Now, what I'm hearing is that farmers in Grenada produce poor quality. Farmers all over the world produce a range of quality, and you grade them accordingly. A grade A quite often would command a better price than a grade C. But here, what we have is people wanting grade A and paying grade C prices. Now, I'm making an appeal to our, as Mr. Pierre said, intellectual policymakers. Do not perpetuate this argument that farmers are producing poor quality products.
Well, I just fire the manager. If you have farmers producing poor quality, you go after the manager. It's simple. The manager, no matter what you're doing, standards is important.
Yeah.
And that's where we always speak about the husbandry practices, because that is what would help us get the quality. What are the husbandry practices that you implement?
Yeah.
What are your harvesting practice?
Yeah.
What are your post-harvesting practice?
Yeah, and the different grades. Because I go to the supermarkets, I do little research every so often. Foodlands, Food Fair, Price Busters, Pierre Supermarket, and IGA as well. And I see beautiful products. These days I'm seeing like pumpkins, and those pumpkins look so orange. It makes me feel like just eating it raw. Beautiful products, and I go by more so IGA because I'm in that side of town a lot, and the products are beautiful. And I'm saying, where do these products come from? Yeah, it comes from Grenadian farmers. So where this talk is coming from?
Well, first of all, Grenada went to the International Honey Show and won gold medal.
Yeah,
we go to the International Flower Show and won gold medal.
Mr. Pierre,
We-
you're
we-
bad this morning.
We have some of the best rum in the country.
Ah.
We have rum that is cousin.
Yeah.
We have rum that is confusion rum.
Yeah.
We have all different rum. People still saying what we have no good.
Where
Because
that
it come from us.
Oh, Lord.
You remember they had to, in the 70s or 60s, they had something about black joy. They had to tell black people they're beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's that kind of malady
yeah.
that impresses us.
Yeah.
But no,
yeah,
we have pineapple.
yeah, grade A pineapple and
Of
grade
course.
B and grade C. We'll have all the different grades pineapple.
My
And there's
my
a market
biggest
for all of them.
concern is
Mhm.
if you're going to bring 70,000 plants from Costa Rica. No, this is after the fact. I would have asked, why Costa Rica?
Mhm.
Why Costa Rica?
Mhm.
Why not Guyana?
Mhm.
When you pass in Guyana, you see ton load of pineapple on the street. Now, I would assume that you believe the variety in Costa Rica better. And I would ask you if it is spineless
Mhm. Mhm.
or less spine, less prickle,
Less prickle. Yeah.
Now, in Grenada,
Mhm.
some of the farmers, one of the challenges they had in growing plenty pineapple is because it always end up in the bush. Nobody clean it.
Yeah.
But in South America, they use livestock, particularly sheep. I don't know if it's sheep and goats. They plant them further apart
Uh-huh.
and they use it to graze between them
Mhm.
so they don't have to weed them.
Mhm.
So they could use this spineless.
Mhm.
Now, why you went to Costa Rica? No, we have a I can't remember the term they use for this thing. When you have the lab tissue culture.
Tissue. Okay.
If your project was 3, 4, 5 years, while you're preparing your master plan, while you're marketing arm in the government, encouraging people to eat pineapple,
Mhm.
while you're looking for foreign market,
Mhm.
why didn't you develop tissue culture
Mhm.
and use your own local material here?
Mhm.
Because we have local material here.
Mhm.
We also have local material here we imported 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
You go to Costa Rica, how much million you spend to buy the 700,000?
Mhm.
The 70,000 plants. Tell us.
Mhm.
We know you spend about 4 point something million to buy us some pig. They say the pig get fat. Trouble. No, we don't want you to continue to do the same thing.
Mhm.
The animals were supposed to come here to develop the livestock industry, the ruminant industry, the swine, the pork, pig industry.
Mhm.
But if you have them, they see in trouble with them. Bring in grass,
Mhm.
importing grass. There should be a hue and cry from beekeepers when you bring hay in the country.
Mhm.
There should be a hue and cry from the veterinary division because bringing in hay in the country increases the possibility of bringing in the small hive beetle.
Mhm.
And if you're bringing in the small hive beetle here, then the beekeepers will be in trouble. You can't just bring in thing. We seem to have an appetite that what we have in Grenada do good. We have the best honey.
Mhm.
We have the best flowers.
Mhm.
The orchid industry. We have some women in Grenada. My God, they look good.
Yeah.
So why didn't you investigate the pineapple plants we had here
Mhm.
and see if we could have made use of it?
Yeah.
You gone in Costa Rica. But what's about Jamaica?
Yeah.
What's about Guyana?
Mhm.
Would the pineapple plants from Jamaica would have been cheaper to come here?
Mhm.
Why didn't you immediately develop your tissue culture?
Yeah.
What is the husbandry practice?
Yeah.
What is the husbandry practice
Mhm.
you're giving out for the farmers?
Mhm.
Because one of the challenge with pineapple is cleaning.
Mhm.
Or do you have a chemical to spray that kill the grass and leave the pineapple? All that is important, you know.
Absolutely.
Because you bring this ton load of pineapple here,
Mhm,
people cut down the tree crop and plant pineapple.
mhm,
You don't have a market unless you
mhm.
send it in Togo.
Why is this Togo you guys keep talking
That is
about?
Togo is in Africa. Cuba. Why didn't you bring the plants from Cuba?
Mhm,
Cuba have pineapple.
mhm,
You want to help Cuba. That was a good opportunity, you know, to bring the plants from Cuba. You have a lot of people studying in Cuba,
Yeah.
and you could have sent people to study it. Are you going to incorporate pineapple with livestock? So the livestock is going to clean the pineapple.
Mhm,
So you don't have problem with the spines. Like not Chinese woman who are in Grenada, you know. Grenada woman do putting gloves in their hand to go and clean pineapple. And the cost of production will skyrocket.
Mm,
And by the time we increase, which is correct, pineapple wouldn't sell for $70
mm,
unless you have a foreign market.
mhm,
Donald Trump in America. Better be
mhm.
careful.
Yeah.
This is the challenge we have. And it saddens our heart. Because they say the road to hell is paved with good intention.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It might be a good project,
yeah. Mhm,
a good idea,
mhm.
but where are our brains? The Ministry of Agriculture, we cannot continue to make the mistakes we make yesteryear. This mistake we make them already, you know.
Mhm.
We used to have pineapple in the lower belt. I can't remember when you leave St. Paul, coming up Calivini and all these
Okay.
places. You
Yeah.
used to have pineapple. You had a number of training course on pineapple.
Mhm.
One of the an attempt was made to bring. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Hello.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Welcome. Good,
You've been
pleasant morning.
following us.
Pleasant morning. No, I must admit I was running around doing bits
Well,
and
we
pieces.
just on the
Update
topic
me.
that the government brought in 70,000 pineapple plants. And we asking question, is there a plan? Is it just whooping? Is it gambling? What is the plan?
Mm.
You know, what is the message sent to the nutmeg and cocoa farmers? You know, basically we on that. Because the
Well,
idea
my
might be good.
brother, the government seems to always jump on good ideas, but implementation seems to be bad. I mean, the World Bank gave us $27 million for development of livestock in Grenada. It was a good initiative. It was not their plan. It was something that they inherited. They bought 463 animals for 4 point something $1 million. Some of the pigs they are still in Maribor. So the pigs have gotten so big and fat they can't serve, they can't breed. So clearly that, that seemed to be a waste of money right there. The government have yet to unveil a plan as to how it would be distributed to farmers. But that's a waste of time because it's too late for that. So there's nothing new with that. I mean, this government is shifting from problems to problems. As a matter of fact, it's not just the government, but some of the ministers themselves does not have a clue as to what development is all about. So they're going through the motion. I mean, look, let's look at the head of the government, the prime minister. In Grenada here right now, we have the Cliff Road project that stalled for a number of years now. Nothing doing here. Well, they had their so-called hotshot Minister Andy Williams. Well, like he gone cold since the allegation between he and the general contractor, where the general contractor bought his house and the contractor was behind with the project, and he couldn't say nothing to the contractor because he was inside the contractor pocket. That project that project here is practically on hold. Cost overrun, delay, and all of that. You're looking at the Clojay project, another disaster. You look at the roads in St. Andrews, all dug up over a
So
year.
you believe
No
this
one knows
pineapple
what's
thing is a
happening.
disaster?
Well, of course, no one's saying anything. No one telling you nothing at all. But hear this now. The United States government have sanctioned a senior cabinet minister of the National Democratic Congress under Deacon Mitchell. They revoke his visa, and maybe others they revoke as well. And there's other sanctions pending against Grenada. We have scores of Grenadians going to the U.S. embassy and being turned away. The last we heard is that the number was up to 75 within the last 2 months. Now we hearing the frightening news that graduates from SGU wishing to get visa to go into the United States to do the internship, they have been blocked. They have to look for other places. They have to possibly England or Canada. That is a frightening thought. But you know what is more frightening? With all of this all of these problems before us here, the prime minister is in Venezuela, offering himself as a mediator between the United States and
He go back
Venezuela. I mean,
Venezuela again?
he's offering
He there in
himself as a
Venezuela again?
mediator to yeah, he there in Venezuela offering himself as a mediator between the U.S. and Venezuela. You know, Jamaicans have a slang. They say, "Well, back a yard before you back a brad."
Yeah, back
Here, the prime minister have so many urgent problems. Our fishing is in jeopardy. So many problems facing us here. Yet the prime minister seemed to be going there to offering himself as mediator. I want to say to you, Prime Minister Dick and Michelle, please, Grenadians are not fools. Maybe they elected you out of emotion coming
They
out of
gamble, they
COVID. They,
gamble. By cutting back.
they gamble on you. They gamble on you. But stop believing that Grenadians are fools. You cannot solve a problem with the United States and Grenada. Our people now cannot ship parcels and boxes to the United States. Look at the economic fallout. Folks from Munich used to ship their farin from Soubise, their CMOS. People used to ship their Tambran ball and
Show Amazon.
the
Amazon?
yes, and eBay and all of that, the cocoa ball and the bay leaf and the soursop leaf. All of this brought revenues to Grenada to ordinary people. You can't solve that, Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell. How in heaven's name are you going to solve a problem with the United States of America and Venezuela when you can't solve your own problem with
He must have
America?
won the Bolivarian award.
Right. You can't solve your own problems with America. Your own cabinet minister, finance minister. If there's a meeting of the World Bank in Washington, he can go.
Mm,
But you want to solve America and Venezuela problem? I mean, be for real.
yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with us now as a people. If we get dashed, the Chamber of Commerce, the NGOs, women organization. I mean, why are more people not speaking out with this guy trying to bramble the nation? Our nation is in danger, my brother.
Sometimes it could be embarrassment, you know. You know, people they take a chance, they gamble with him, and maybe they're so embarrassed of what they end up with, ashamed to talk.
Well, it seemed to me as if history repeated itself all over
Yeah.
again. Because, in 1979, a group of young men, they were not elected, but they took over the country with guns. A few years later, they line up each other against a wall and start blowing off each other's head. Now, this time now, the people voting for these young people themselves. And what happened now? They lead us to war with America. The guns and the bombs are not dropping, no. But economic strangulation is here. America have its hands in our throat, it's choking us. And because of our arrogance, how we dealing with America, telling America to take their visa and stick it via Andal and Cornwall, we are facing the consequences. Every Grenadian now is feeling the pressure of this national democratic disaster. Everyone is doing so. You can't. Grenadians have so many family in America. You might have your mother, your grandmother. You want to take her for uh, 2 months in the summer to come and think. All of that gone now. So what are they bringing in plants? It could be gold they plant, they pave in the streets with.
Pineapple kind of
It
sweet,
could be
so
gold.
and pineapple kind of sweet, so when we produce pineapple, that
No,
might be therapy.
let's walk on the gold. Even if they pave the streets in gold, let's walk on the gold. Go to the polls and vote them out. Now, I mean, I had difficulties with the New National Party. They were not perfect. I speak out when I thought things was wrong, and I speak out forcefully. But let's be for real. The New National Party was never, never, never as bad as this National Democratic Congress. This National Democratic Congress is leading us down an economic precipice. There's no end in sight, brother.
Yeah.
Well, some
I listen to, I, I watch a press release from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and they seem to be the, the spokesman now for Arab states, Qatar. They're issuing a statement condemning whatever
Israel.
Israel and Qatar may have had. You have Egypt, you have Saudi Arabia, you have Syria, you have Jordan,
Well, them boys is the
you have
revolutionary
Kuwait.
boys today. That to jump on the
Well,
Christian.
so what is the relevance to getting Grenada engulfed in that sort of thing? Look, the situation with Cuba, we empathize with Cuba. We say from time to time that the embargo must end. But can Grenada end the embargo? No. The problem with America and Cuba is not an ideological thing because America have America have diplomatic
With
relation with
China and
Russia
Russia.
and China. Yes, who have different system. The problem is about money. The problem is about the billions of dollars that the Americans are claiming that
Cuba owe them.
that Cuba owes them when they nationalize American
Companies.
and Cuban assets. Now, and you have today a guy like Marco Rubio, who is the grandson of dissidents who own billions in Cuba when they fled Cuba. He's now digging in and and turning up the screw on
He
Cuba
want
because
his
he's positioning
grandfather
himself.
back pay.
Yeah, he's positioning himself now as a possible
Candidate.
presidential candidate for the Republican in the next election. And he's doing so by pressuring all these countries. He wants to make himself look as a as an
Strong man.
ultra conservative to the conservative base of the Republican Party so that he could succeed President Trump. We don't need to be try picking a fight with America. As we said over and over, ants cannot fight elephants. And we don't understand that. So here we are again in the midst of this thing here. And the whole country is suffering.
Mhm.
And they talk about that is where inexperience comes in. Now, in terms of the fishing, and your program is doing a very good job. On your program here, we made certain recommendations that they should contact the State Department to have a meeting with the Secretary of Agriculture, which is the equivalent of the Minister of Agriculture here, have a sit down and see if we could get a stay of the execution of the order so that we could buy some time. Out of abundance of caution, we could buy some time to see if we could meet the requirements that the U.S. is asking for. But
Yeah.
we must not sit on our laurels while we're doing so.
Yeah.
We must take the effort now to start the negotiations with the farmers. Not negotiations, but consultations. And we must start drafting the legislation to put in place so that by the time, even if we do not get a stay of the execution, but we could go into a hurry up offensive. We could take a hurry up offensive approach where we say, okay, we're gonna have consultation with the fishermen. We're gonna we're gonna go into every coastal village and have consultation with the villagers in the area because turtle is involved and a lot of them do a lot of poaching. And we're gonna put all the systems in place so that should in the event they did not give us the time, we will be there. We could say, look, we have data collection. We hire people. They go on. on the base side. They're collecting the data as to what coming in and what going out. In other words, we taking we're doing all the preliminary things and we compiling that. So should in the event they say no, they're not granting us the time, we could say, well, this is what we did. We have legislation, we have consultation, we're collecting data, and we have workshops for our longliners. And we already installed the residents in the coastal areas as to what is expected of them in this new
Dispensation.
fishing regime.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we need to do so now. But
Michael,
you know what frightens me, Josh, let me finish. You know what frightens me? Because of the toxic relationship that Grenada has established with the United States right now. I am not so sure they may look at us at us favorably.
yeah.
And I
But
want to
but
say
but,
to the
but
PM,
Michael,
while you invent,
but Michael,
Mhm.
the advice you offer is tobacco well pressed. They need to try that.
Yeah.
Stop beat your chest on the issue and put emphasis and try that.
Yeah. Let me just add.
Joshua on the comment.
Yeah. Let me just add, Michael. We all say Michael, but it's important that we say that Mr. Baptiste is our ex
No, 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 no,
ex
man. I rose by
minister.
any other name is still a rose,
No,
man.
Yeah,
when
None of that.
yeah.
None
So,
of that.
Mr. Baptiste brings with us relevant, much needed experience on this subject. And I just want to share everything that you had said last week on the program. By accident, I was listening to PS, I think Javan originally from Carriacou, I think, and everything that you had said that needed to be done, he was saying that they now have a hurry up offense, and they're doing it. So for me, I was so kind of pleased to see that somebody in the ministry is taking this thing serious, because at a point when this thing broke, it felt like the government didn't have a position. Now, since you've come on the program, I'm not saying that you're the one who initiated, but it seems what you're saying is now consistent with government policy. And I do feel that we
Wait,
have.
wait, wait, Josh. One correction. What the government is doing is consistent with what I said.
Yes.
Okay? All
Yeah,
right.
what the government is doing is consistent with what Michael said. Yes. And I'm so glad, because I'm one of those that, I tend to think it's important that we get a result, so important. And anybody that can help us get a result, they should be included. So I'm very grateful to you, Michael. Mhm.
this country is
Well,
ours, when we speak, we make
well, I,
suggestions. We make
well, of course,
suggestions. It's our
that is
country.
what constructive criticism is all about.
Yeah.
But I want to say to the PM, I want to say to the PM, the PM and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, while you're in Venezuela and you have good relation with Venezuela, we have another problem. We have another fishing problem there now, one that comes under CITES, the Convention for International Trade in Endangered Species. We have not been able to obtain a CITES certificate to export our lambi. Now, when I was Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, we joined fisheries then, and we were required to come up with a management plan on how we would manage the stocks and so on, both for lambi and turtle. Well, we gave a oral submission before CITES then, and we said, look, we have a conservation plan in place, a very strict conservation plan. We have an open and a closed season, and that is how we manage that. And they accepted it. And they said, okay, we will accept that, but you will not be able to ship either turtle or lambi until you give it to us in writing. You must tell us what is your management plan for lambi and turtle. Well, unfortunately, it was not done. I don't think anybody took CITES serious because the last time I inquired many years ago, as if we attending CITES meeting, I was told by a guy that I think he has now retired, Mr. Matura, that he was the only one that attended these meetings, because the ministry thought that CITES dealt mainly with plants and in plants and exporting the plants. Unfortunately, they're wrong on that. CITES deal with lambi and turtle, that those are endangered species. And while we will not be able to export turtle, but we do have a significant of lambi in our waters. Our fisher folks in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, they hunt a lot of lambi, and they sometimes exchange it on the open sea to the boats going into Martinique so that he could enter the European Union, because the Martinique is a Dutch colony, and by virtue of the location with Saint Lucia and so on, they can bring in the lambi into Martinique very easily without all the HACCP conditions being met, because it's considered a European territory by virtue of the the Dutch administering the colony of Martinique. So we have some work to do there. And while they busy in Venezuela, they should go to CITES headquarters and get Grenada to move from Appendix 1 to Appendix 2. Appendix 2 would allow us to export lambi and so on. As far as the turtle is concerned, it appears as if there will be a ban totally on turtle, on the hunting of turtle, which is a blow to Grenada, because I mean we sustainable utilize land and marine resources to our benefits, whether it is monkey, ramier, tattoo, iguana, and all of that, and we do so with a closed and open season. So we have work to do there. So the PM is a frequent visitor there. He could visit CITES headquarters, and with the aid of some technicians from the fisheries division, and try to get us onto Appendix 2 so that we could start sending lambi outside. Because I heard a story where a guy was bringing in about a 50 lambi in the United States, and because he didn't have the relevant documents,
Yeah.
the customs in the U.S. seized it. I pray too that the fisheries thing could be resolved, because if it is not resolved, people coming into Grenada and going in America with a few pounds of jacks or fried fish, that
Will be
too could be
affected.
confiscated, because it's all part of the marine resources. So we have work to do. We are not donging on government for everything. We are wishing that these issues could be successfully resolved, because all of us have interests at stake. All of us, we have relatives that shipping things in America, Tambra and Bral, groundnut cake, and all the niceties, and ham and jam and all of that, farine and soursop leaf, penny piece, and all of those exotic fruits. We ship them to the United States, and people make a living out of that.
Hmm.
And seeing that cut off now as it is shrinking our rural economy even further. So we are here to offer the little assistance that we can in the way of information.
Yeah.
And if they were to contact directly, we probably could advise them as to what desk in the US FDA that they could contact. I mean, some of the people that we dealt with, they're still around. There's some of them are senior people now, but they're still around. They're there, and
Hmm.
they heard our cry when it was our source up. We met with the U.S. Secretary of Agriculture. We put in a very 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 commanding submission, oral submission. We made to him a plea, and he accepted that, and he gave us he applied leniency. He gave us a 90 days, even though we didn't use the 90 days, but just out of abundance of caution, we say, you know what, let's do that. Because you see, when you're a ban, when they put a ban, you have to start all over again.
Yeah.
You have to now start with a new application, and the new application will call for HACCP standards. They have to come in now and inspect your boats inspect your facilities, inspect your fishermen, put certain regulations of them. They have to get certificate of health. They have to look at the boat,
It's
and
more
it's a
difficult and
long,
time consuming.
yeah, a long process. So we have to pray, and this is not a political issue, you know. This is a national security economic issue. So we have to pray that Washington look favorably at the request when it's made. It should have been made a long time ago. But then again, we were not on the program a long time ago. So now that they have the information and they know what's needed, they have to go into a hurry up mode and get it going. But here locally, the Ministry of Legal Affairs, and the quickest thing they could do is to contact St. Vincent, because St. Vincent is a whaling nation. They're allowed to pull in 4 minke whales per year. They too are a signature to the Pact of Sustainable Utilization of Marine and Land Resources. They have amended their fisheries legislation that's in accordance with the U.S. and what the U.S. is requiring. So we could get a copy of St. Vincent legislation real quick, and we could the legal department could start drafting out this legislation and bring it in our parliament for approval, and we should do so with a sense of urgency.
Michael,
Once that's done, in the meantime,
Michael, you have the last reaction to the pineapple. Government bringing 70,000 pineapple, and we asking, is the government developing the industry, or they just whooping or gambling or what? You have
just
the last
gambling. The,
minute
the
on it.
Minister of Agriculture, the Minister of Agriculture does not have a clue about agriculture. And you know, it's unfortunate that he gave him so many ministries: economic development, blue energy, and creative energy, and all of that. And the poor fella, I mean, he's not a doer, and I think they overload him with too many things here. And I don't know. Before you're bringing these plans, you have to have a plan. First of all, you have to have a plan as to what you're going to do, where you're going to plant, and how it will be maintained. And so far, I'm not hearing of any plan by government. And anything that these guys put their hands on, it turns out to be chaotic. So I'm not so sure that even if you're bringing plans, what would happen, and where are the plans coming from anyway?
Costa Rica. Thank you very much, Michael,
All right.
for being with us today. You could always free to call us back anytime.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, my
Yes,
brother.
man. Well, yes, man. Let's keep the lines open, and let's continue to offer critical advice.
Yes, man. What we do, we provoke discussion. Yes, Joshua.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
Yes, man. All right.
oh, okay. Um, Today has been really kind of interesting to me. Sometimes we say a lot of words and doesn't mean much, but there were two things Mr. Pierre said today that has stuck with me and that I will use in my arguments going forward. We win the Chelsea Flower Show. We win award for best honey in the world. I don't hear anybody talking about that over and over. But what I do hear is that our farmers not producing quality stuff. So the flowers don't belong to Grenada. The honey don't belong to Grenada. Why we don't talk about that? Why don't we celebrate that? Why we looking for things to put farmers down that are not true? So that really had an impact on me. Those two things, that Mr. Pierre said this morning really resonates with me.
Never forget we have some of the most beautiful woman in this world. Don't forget that.
Mr. Pierre gone off track
And
again.
then we concern about the pineapple. The pineapple seems to be a good idea. It could be a very good project. We don't want you foul it up. If you don't do that yet, immediately get a task force and look at the pineapple, the farmers you give in, the market. If you don't have a foreign market, start encouraging Grenadians to consume more pineapple. Explore the possibility of having livestock within the pineapple, because the spines is one of the challenges Grenada farmers had in cleaning. most of the pineapple end up in bush, and the bush eventually kill the pineapple. On our program, we provoke discussion, and we continue to provide suggestions. You don't have to take the suggestion, but examine it for what it is worth. This country belongs to us. Long after Deacon gone and dead, Grenada will still be around. So we have to do things and seek the interests of Grenada. Remember, I didn't tell you before, share we program, like we program. Remember the number you're supposed to call is 536-2558. Yeah, 536-2558. And share we program, subscribe. Give us a blight with a new kid on the block. We need it. More you subscribe, more YouTube give us open doors for us. Thank you very much.
Religion and economic issue, regional, international, spiritual issues too. Agricultural, environmental, and trending to subject matter. We fear none, we back down. Freedom of speech is enshrined in the land. God, we freedom, jealous and they in Cuba. Russians and Chinese and lucky like we. Rhine and North Korea, wish they had it too. Most of the Caribbean, lucky like we. Studio Galaxy Day for you and me. Galaxy Equalizer, ready like Freddy. And Studio Galaxy 473 in Confero. We freedom of speech is sacrosanct. Make use of it. Let no one challenge. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and share, subscribe and discuss it too. Let the world know Studio Galaxy is around. Studio Galaxy in Confero, hope you know. 473 standing strong is yours, you know. The medium, an opportunity for you. Make your contribution, let them know. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and share, subscribe and discuss it too. Let the world know Studio Galaxy is a road. Are we freedom, jealous and they in Cuba? Russians and Chinese and lucky like we. Iran and North Korea, wish they had it too. Most of the Caribbean, lucky like we. Studio Galaxy Day for you and me. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and share, subscribe and discuss it too. Let the world know Studio Galaxy is around. Studio Galaxy in Confero, hope you know. 473 standing strong is yours, you know. The medium, an opportunity for you. Make your contribution, let them know. Democracy in Spice Isles is alive and well. Ask you questions, sing and beat you drum. Make you suggestions, encourage them on to walk the straight and narrow in the land. Politics, religion and economic issue, regional, international, spiritual issues too. Agricultural, environmental and trending to subject matter. We fear none, we back down. Freedom of speech is enshrined in the land. God, we freedom, jealous and they in Cuba. Russians and Chinese and lucky like we. Rhine and North Korea wish they had it too. Most of the Caribbean lucky like we. Studio Galaxy Day for you and me. Galaxy Equalizer ready like Freddy. And Studio Galaxy 473 in Confero. We freedom of speech is sacrosanct. Make use of it. Let no one challenge. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and share, subscribe and discuss it too. Let the world know Studio Galaxy is around. Studio Galaxy in Confero, hope you know. 473 standing strong is yours, you know. The medium, an opportunity for you. Make your contribution, let them know. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and share, subscribe and discuss it too. Let the world know Studio Galaxy is a road. Are we freedom, jealous and they in Cuba? Russians and Chinese and lucky like we. Iran and North Korea wish they had it too. Most of the Caribbean lucky like we. Studio Galaxy Day for you and me. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and share, subscribe and discuss it too. Let the world know Studio Galaxy is around. Studio Galaxy in Confero, hope you know. 473 standing strong is yours, you know. The medium an opportunity for you. Make your contribution, let them know. Democracy in Spice Isles is alive and well. Ask you questions, sing and beat you drum. Make you suggestions, encourage them on to walk the straight and narrow in the land. Politics, religion and economic issues, regional, international, spiritual issues too. Agricultural, environmental and trending to subject matter. We fear none, we back down. Freedom of speech is enshrined in the land. God, we freedom, jealous and they in Cuba. Russians and Chinese and lucky like we. Rhine and North Korea wish they had it too. Most of the Caribbean lucky like we. Studio Galaxy Day for you and me. Galaxy Equalizer ready like Freddy. And Studio Galaxy 473 in Confero. We freedom of speech is sacrosanct. Make use of it. Let no one challenge. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and share, subscribe and discuss it too. Let the world know Studio Galaxy is around. Studio Galaxy in Confero, hope you know. 473 standing strong is yours, you know. The medium, an opportunity for you. Make your contribution, let them know. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and share, subscribe and discuss it too. Let the world know Studio Galaxy is a road. Russians and Chinese and lucky like we. Iran and North Korea wish they had it too. Most of the Caribbean lucky like we. Studio Galaxy Day for you and me. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and share, subscribe and discuss it too. Let the world know Studio Galaxy is around. Studio Galaxy in Confero, hope you know. 473 standing strong is yours, you know. The medium and opportunity for you. Make your contribution, let them know. Democracy in Spice Isles is alive and well. Ask you questions, sing and beat you drum. Make you suggestions, encourage them on to walk the straight and narrow in the land. Politics, religion and economic issue, regional, international, spiritual issues too. Agricultural, environmental and trending to subject matter. We fear none, we back down. Freedom of speech is enshrined in the land. God, we freedom, jealous and they in Cuba. Russians and Chinese and lucky like we. Iran and North Korea wish they had it too. Most of the Caribbean lucky like we. Studio Galaxy Day for you and me. Galaxy Equalizer ready like Freddy. And Studio Galaxy 473 in Confero. We freedom of speech is sacrosanct. Make use of it. Let no one challenge. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and share, subscribe and discuss it too. Let the world know Studio Galaxy is around. Galaxy in Confero, hope you know. 473 standing strong is yours, you know. The medium, an opportunity for you. Make your contribution, let them know. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and share, subscribe and discuss it too. Let the world know. Studio Galaxy.
Welcome back again. We had a short break as usual, and this time we're going straight on to the more political aspect of the program. And you're on Studio Galaxy 473 in Confero. Remember, the number to call is 536 2558. 536 2558. And we want you to call because generally on our program, we provoke discussion. We believe that there's a lot of issues that have to talk about, we have to discuss, and some people running away from topic. We fear no subject matter, and we fear no one. Today, now we're going to speak about the health system is better than we believe. The health system in Grenada is better than we believe. I believe that we have bashed the health system into submission, and we have politicized the health system too much. So politicians, when they come in, they see the health system as to make political marks, and they come with grander idea. I don't blame politicians. Politicians, perhaps, is the profession that is under the greatest scrutiny. And they're always trying to impress. They're trying to show off. And sometimes they are ill-advised. And what they could achieve in 20 years, they want to do it in 4. And they end up entangling themselves like a spider web. So today, I'm going to speak about the health system in Grenada, provoke discussion on it. The health system is not as bad as we're making it. I want to challenge the Ministry of Health. Forget the politician. The Minister of Health, you have the permanent secretary in health. That is the person, the permanent secretary in health. Do an audit of the health service provided in Grenada. Pull a think tank. Use doctors, nurses, members of the Public Workers Union, and you could even use the people in the private sector. Ask them to volunteer because you don't have money. Otherwise, you have to get the cabinet, the politician permission. And then the politician come and choose yellow people alone to do it or green people or whatever. You, the permanent secretary in health, liaison with the doctors, the chief medical officer, the chief dispenser, the heads of department, and do a think tank. Run a think tank. 1, do an audit of the service we provide for the country. Look at the facilities that we have. Easy to point out the facilities that we have. Easy to call the medical station in Ticolo and say, give me a 1-page document on what are the service that you provide. So you're not going in detail. You could do it all over the island. We have to improve the management of the hospital, of the health system, the management. And we are very weak with middle managers, not only in Grenada. Throughout the Caribbean, we're very weak, or we could be much stronger, any way you want to look at it. I would say we're weak where middle managers is concerned. But managers don't like the word weak. They want to be flattered. So you could say they could be stronger. Do an audit of the service we provide to our people. We have to develop a culture in the health system of defending the health system. The health system is being bashed mercilessly. And you could bash your workers and your medical personnel into submission. So then they themselves start saying, yes, thing bad. It has a kind of rippling effect through the system. The bashing become cultural. And everybody say the health system done good. And if they believe it done good, it done good. If they believe the health system done good, it done good. That is, they have something called placebo. Sometimes they give a man a placebo. ADT, any damn thing, and he get better. Because he believe if the doctor give him an injection, the pain going to go. In yesteryear, they used to give them still water, distilled water. But patient gets smart. They say, no. The doctor gave me distilled water. So they start to give them vitamins and other things. I think they call it a placebo. I could be wrong. Otherwise, we say ADT, any damn thing. He won't kill you. But he won't do nothing for you except mentally. We have to audit the private doctors too, because private doctors have improved immensely over the years. And I'm in town now. So I know. Some of them, you go to the office now, and they could even test for kidney stone. I don't know the terminologies. They could test there and then in the office. They could take your blood, they could take blood samples. They run the blood samples for themselves. I don't know if you're working. They could test ECG. I think that when they're testing if your heart beating fast or slow. So the private doctors themselves have invested in the facilities and have improved significantly. Every day we're crying thing bad in the health system. And yes, I'm not saying thing ain't bad, but it is not as bad as we're making it out to be. Whether in Dominica, St. Vincent, and Lucia, throughout the Caribbean, we have an attitude, we have a mentality that believe what we have done good. And it doesn't matter how much money you invest in it. Go to the dentist, the private dentist now. They too have improved significantly. And government dentist department have improved too. So the health system is not as bad as we're making it out to be. We're bashing the health system too much. The private doctors, they shut them up. Sometimes I believe they're glad they're bashing the system. Because more people would go to the private doctors because they believe when you go to the government doctors, you have to stay too long. So they prefer to go to the private doctors and pay. And they have discretionary income, so they can pay. Yes, they have discretionary income. How do I know that? Grenada have 100,000 people, and they have 68,000 registered vehicles. It means Grenadians have money. At one time, Grenadians had the most savings in the bank. At first, they save money, the bank taking out new money every month now. So we have money. We as a people have to want to solve our problems. Because the bus coming late and you want to go to St. George's. So the bus is unpredictable. You don't have to buy a Mercedes Benz. You could buy a bike. And I say that because we believe when you go to the health system, sometimes they can save your life. Your liver gone. Your kidney no good. You know, your brain, you go dead. If you need a heart transplant, well, you might dead. You better pray to go to heaven. But if you need a heart transplant in the United States of America, there is a possibility you may get the heart. They may just put you on a waiting list because you have insurance to back it. In yesteryear, there are people who used to take blood to bring in Barbados to test for cancer. If they suspected cancer, the blood had to go to Barbados to come back. In Martinique and Guadeloupe, blood still sometimes, based upon what they're testing for, have to go to France. You will always have that. But the service that we provide for people, the ordinary service, the service, particularly when they diagnose your problem. You have sugar, you have lumbago, you have arthritis, you can't see good. You know, these service, we could improve the management of the service, the attitude of our workers. And we have to stop bashing the health system. Our journalists in Grenada have to be more proactive. They have to engage private doctors more because the private doctors shut them up. Sometimes I see them like parasites. I remember during COVID-19, it was a critical time. And I believe the politicians in the Caribbean tried. Those politicians hide behind the medical personnel. When you speak to them, first time politicians say in power, say, CAFA say, World Health Organization say, and our doctors say. They was taking the recommendation and the advice of the reputable medical personalities, institutions, and profession, which was the correct thing to do. For the first time, the politicians was taking the advice of these people. I didn't hear the voice of the private doctors. The political opposition in Grenada and perhaps in other Caribbean countries too, they were not supportive of the government action. Well, here they playing, see if they could make some points on politics. But the private doctors disappointed me. They were extremely quiet. They did not give support to the government doctors that were speaking. And the government doctors were speaking just because of the profession. We have to understand that if we continue to bash the health system, it doesn't matter how much money you put in it, it won't work. Because we will never be able to compete with the developed countries. They're going to always be able to take your doctors away and take your medical personnel away. You don't need big building. That is why I believe that the building that Deacon is talking about is not necessary. There is absolutely no need for a new hospital in Grenada. Don't expect the opposition politician to say that. They want to go on safe ground. But I could say that. I have no constituency. I ain't looking for no vote. There is absolutely no need for a new hospital. The Princess Alice Hospital is big enough. And they have enough land to expand that hospital. They could put 100 new rooms in it if they want. They have the land for it. They could go up 5 floors if they want. The St. George's Hospital, there is room for expansion. There is no need for a new hospital. This St. George's Hospital, what we need is more medical personnel. We can't get them overnight. But we need more medical personnel. Government has been training medical personnel, but the management has been poor or wanting. So I want to suggest anybody you train, they will have to serve you 3 years for every 12 months you train them. I don't saying that good. That don't look like it makes sense. Every 1 year of training, they have to give you 3 years service. Every 1 year training. So if you train a doctor for 7 years, you have to give you 20 years service. You put him on a bond for 20 years. You must go to Parliament and pass a law that if you are trained by government, you must serve the government for 20 years. So that is if you were trained for 7 years. If you receive government money to further your studies, anything, post-national college. So from kindergarten to national college, no bond on you. But once you pass national college, any training in tertiary education, every 1 year training, you must give the government 3 years service. So that is enacted in the law. If you break the bond, you must pay back the value of the scholarship. The value of the scholarship. Not necessarily what it costs government. or you must be blacklisted. Your name must be blacklisted as a bandit. You took government money under false pretense. There are instances when you have to not break the ban, but the government want to give you permission to work other ways. It must go to Parliament. And Parliament must decide this Grenadian doctor or this Grenadian personnel want to go in Timbuktu to work. We don't know where Timbuktu is, but we hear you have a lot of island potential in Timbuktu. So we could benefit. So we're going to give him a pass, a bly, for 5 years to work in Timbuktu. Or you might even work with the CARICOM and say the individuals could work in CARICOM Island with government permission. We would never be able to compete with countries, developed countries. So it doesn't matter how much you could pay a medical doctor a year. America could pay them more. England could pay them more. Kuwait could pay them more. Qatar could pay them more. So you are not infringing on anybody's right, but you're establishing it as an act of Parliament. That any training that you get after National College, you must be bonded. Well, you don't have to take bond again because it's a law. You must serve the country for 3 years for every 1 year training. You notice I don't include paying that. Don't expect to work in Grenada and get American pay. When somebody tells me I'm not working enough in Grenada, I say, well, go in some damn country that could pay you more. But if you work in Grenada, you work for Grenadian pay. And it's the scale with which you work. In that way, we're training 10 medical doctors every year. We could train more, but minimum 10 medical doctors a year. After 6, 7 years, you start to have 10 medical doctors a year. And the doctor might give you 30, 40 years service. Some of them might dead before. But you're going to have 50, 60, 100 medical doctors that you train. We have to want to solve our problem. When we in negotiation with foreign countries, we ask them, we lobby, we negotiate with them for training in the medical fields. We are bashing our health system into submission. The health system is not as bad as we claim it to be. Because of the bashing, we are very hostile to health personnel. Nurses, cleaners, orderly, doctors, we are very hostile to us. Medical doctors, at least 1 day every 6 months, government give you the day off to spend it in your community. 1 day every 6 months. So twice a year. Part of the responsibility of a doctor is to just go in the community and spend it. You don't have to attend to anybody. You say, go and lie around in your community. Go and involve in your community. Identify with the community that you have. Identify. So you come out in La Poultry. But at least twice a year, you could be in La Poultry. Sometimes you only able to stay by Daigo in the rum shop. But at least Miss Mary could say, my grandson is a doctor, and he come in Poultry. Anybody you train, preventative health is a very important thing. More we could invest in preventative health is better for us. In St. Patrick's and St. John, and I'm going to the other extreme of the island now, we must have medical personnel. It's not building. Medical personnel. We must have them there 24/7. To do that, you have to operate with about 3 medical doctors. Whether it's 24/7 or whatever. You must have medical doctors, dentists, oral health. Supposed to be a good thing. Sometimes when you watch some people teeth, oh God, but you, Lord have mercy. So you have a dentist in St. Patrick's. At least every day of the week, or 5 days of the week, or 7 days of the week, you have a dentist operating there. You have a psychologist too. That is a new area. Some people, they need a psychologist. When you just start, the psychologist might have very little work. So they could go to schools and talk. But over a period of time, man get tabanka. You going to talk to the psychologist. He may not hang himself. He may not go and molest the woman. He might get an opportunity to talk to the psychologist. We could make a difference. We could change things. We don't have to just sit down and bash ourselves into submission. That's what we're doing. Everybody talk about health is wealth. A bag of talk. If we have medical facilities, medical personnel in St. Patrick's, working 24/7, and some disaster take place and affect the St. George's Hospital, you see how easy it is for people to still have access to routine medical service in St. Patrick's and St. Andrews. And then because you have the medical facilities in St. Patrick's and St. John operating 24/7, it would reduce the traffic in St. George's and in Maribor. And you could improve the quality of service in Maribor and in St. George's. For instance, there are some services you may do in Maribor alone. Just for, you might say, all kidney patients, we're handling them in Maribor. Just, that. All cancer patients, we treat them in Maribor. So you could invest now in more professional service in St. George's and in Princess Alice Hospital, because St. John and St. Patrick's is able to absorb a lot of the load. So less traffic, routine traffic, goes to that area. We don't need a new hospital. That is a white elephant. We're spending millions of dollars on a building. And then we have to retrofit it. And then we don't have the personnel to bring it. We must do, come on. We could solve the problems we have. When the Grenadian Prime Minister goes away, they must also advocate at the CARICOM level that we work together to solve the health challenges in CARICOM. We have the University of the West Indies. They have, I think, the University Hospital. I've never been to it, so I don't know if it is more words than practicality. You have the St. George's University here. You could have collaboration a cooperation or assistance with these universities. There are some service you may be able to get in St. Vincent. And St. Vincent may be able to come down here in Grenada to get some service. You may have a big dental surgery in Dominica. But at CARICOM level, you work together. Later on, you may be able to say any medical doctor that trained in CARICOM could get a job in Grenada or vice versa. But you would have enough trained personnel. I've always take objection to our nurses who leave to go to England. And nothing is wrong with that. Because somebody's supposed to be free to leave your country if you want. And if they was not on a bond. But I believe they were ill-advised. Most of those who leave and go is about 35 years and above. By that time, they would have been well-trained. They all enter the nursing profession maybe 19, 20, 21. And by the time she's 35, she might be well-trained with a lot of years of experience. And because we're living in a small community, she might be, how they say, jack of all trade, master of none. So when she end up in a big establishment, she could fit in easily almost anywhere. She practically a counselor. At that age, our nurses are leaving and go to England. I think they go because they are ill-advised. Because they put them on contract. Sometimes they interact with racism for the first time in their life. Real racism. Because these elderly people that was racist get senile now. Know they're racist. And you have to be careful how you handle them because they're suing. They're spitting on you. They're insulting you. Why you think most of our nurses who go away don't come back and speak about their experience? Their experience was not so good. Some of these women go away and they leave their children here. I always say they're ill-advised. And since the child mother go in England, the child get more ill-disciplined in Grenada. He is studying in school. And the mother sending back jersey with number on it. And sometimes almost life shock take these women. Because although they're looking good, they pass 35. And sometimes beauty is like passport, you know. It does expire. But then they have to go and rent an apartment. And sometimes live with another person from another country in same apartment. And they are bound and compelled because of economic reasons. Sad story. I've had the opportunity to speak to many. I always make it my interest. But because we believe it is better in England, English nurses are going to America. Who doesn't want to go to America? Almost everybody in the world wants to go to America. I've met a young girl from Iowa State, looking damn good. She wants to go to America. Her father said to me, New York, that is America. She wants to go to New York. So the Russians want to go to America. The Arabs want to kill America, but they want to go in America. So nothing is wrong in our people want to go in America. So the English nurses go to America. The Grenada, because of Brexit, a lot of the European nurses now are no longer attracted to England. So England attract Grenadian, Caribbean, African nurses. Barbados want nurse because Barbados nurses go to England. So Barbados is looking for nuts from Ghana and Africa. You notice Barbados don't want Haiti nuts. You notice Grenada don't want Haitian nuts. You notice Grenada want doctors from Nigeria, but they don't want Haitian doctors. We have to stop fooling ourselves in the Caribbean. We have to think. Not because you're highly certificated in this thinking. We have to have little think tanks in every ministry. 3 or 4, 5% in a think tank. Coming up with suggestion, how do we do better? Because you have to practice to thinking. That is why a lot of very people with discretionary income, they just make some stupid children. Somebody trying to do a sense. Fat. You see mother giving the child food. They make 1.5 child. The mother and the father not talking. Both of them giving the children energy. Energy is money and everything that you consume to make more. And the child get very smart. You know how to demele between the two parents. They don't learn much in school. They don't turn athletes. And they don't think much. Except they turn tricksters between the mother and the father. So we have to create think tanks in every ministry, particularly in the health ministry. How do we improve the service? Not how China improved the service. Not how England or France or Africa improved the service. How we, within the Ministry of Health, improve the service. How do we, in the Ministry of Agriculture, improve the service that we have? We have to culture our people to think. We seem to be master in the art of the blame game. Want with grandfather back pay and living in lamentation. Can't go further than that. We have to believe that we have the answers to the challenges that face us. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. But we have to start. You know, the number to call is 536 2558. And if you have a post, we will read it. But we always interested in provoking discussion because we believe we could address the challenges that face us. We have the academic education. We have the certification. We don't have winter in Grenada. We only experience the extremes of the weather, the hurricane season. September, we're in the hot point in September. The 22nd is the birthday of Janet, and the 7th pass. And we must be a thinking people. So I believe the Ministry of Health and the health service in Grenada is not as bad as we claiming it to be. I believe we're bashing the health system unnecessarily. And the health system is seriously politicized. And the politician, yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, Doc.
Yes, my brother.
How are you today?
Great, man.
And good morning, good afternoon to your I won't say co-host because I know he's not with you at
Yeah,
this point in time.
Joshua.
He's gone already, Josh. So hello to Josh for me. Now, Mr. Pierre, you're raising some critical areas there. You're so right in terms of us not thinking. We have the brain power, yes, because the qualification, the certificate is saying that. So we know we have the ability to. But that thinking is, should I say, damaged, suppressed, or taken away through our political system. So our people are thinking for the politicians that they have become more political than the politician themselves. So thinking outside of the political arena is not for us. Because if we think there, in other words, we will not be able to put the politician in office. We will not be able to get the seed. We will not be able to get the skirt, the shoe, whatever it is. We will not be able to get that. So we think for that. So the kind of progressive thinking we should have or dispense is locked away. And that is our problem. Except we understand that as people, that we have to think for our own self and not for the politician. And I've said the politician realize that, look, what they are doing is shutting up their own progress. We're going to remain the same place. It's getting worse because the economy now is not growing. I think it's damaged. That's the reason why we want to put people in the stock market now. We want local stockers. We must raise the money to run this country from the people who do not have the money. Where do they get the money to enter the stock market locally? They don't have the money. But that is where we're going because we're not growing the economy to produce the wealth. So we're going to take the wealth from the imaginary aspect, which we think people have money, and we're going to try to get it from the people. But there is no money there. The people are struggling to purchase. And that is the problem we have. How do we get out of that? When we have taken away the ability to our people to think, we have damaged the citizens. And we're calling on them now to produce, to get us out of this situation. So it's not to say our people are not bright. Yes, they're bright. But they're not thinkers. You're so right. They are not thinkers. So how would we be able to pull ourselves out of where we are? The politicians have to understand. They have to let the people go. Allow the people to think for themselves and to follow the thinking of the people instead of the people thinking and following the politician. Yeah? So the politician have to let the people go, give them the ability to think, and use the people to aid in the growth of the economy to create what they want, which is the revenue. It's a politician that is responsible for the state of Grenada, and not only Grenada, the state of the entire Caribbean and beyond the Caribbean. When they listen to the news, it is the elite that is creating the problem for us and for themselves. They have to understand and have to stop that kind of attitude and to work with the people instead of the people working with them. Have a great day, sir.
Yes, scholar, thank you very much. I always believe that we have to start somewhere. I know it's going to take time, but we have to prepare to discuss the issue. When you travel from Guyana to Dominica to Jamaica, all of them seem to have the same cry with the health system. When you speak to the poor in the United States of America, they have the same cry with the health system too. United States, about 11% of the population lives in poverty. In Africa, Nigeria have about 40,000 doctors. You think they're in Nigeria working? No, they mean Europe and Russia and all over the world. So our problems in Grenada is easier to address because we are a small country. We have about 100,000 people. I don't know how much doctors we need. But I believe we bash ourselves to submission. We become helpless. We're doing as if we're hibernating in perpetual hibernation. As if we're in a cocoon that cannot come out. We become dormant. As they say, a volcano, the volcano is dormant. We're there. So we need to provoke ourselves to come out from that cocoon. We need to break the ice so we're no longer hibernating. We have to be more active. We have to encourage our children to think. The son come home and tell the mother that the pipe bust. The mother asked, did you close off the pipe? He didn't go and close it off. So the water is just wasted. It's something like that. We have to encourage ourselves to think. So this is why I strongly advocate think tanks. We should have, and we could start with the health ministry. We should have a think tank in the health system where a doctor and a nurse on the same committee in a think tank. Hardly. Or maybe you take somebody from outside and you tell the trade union to send a representative. Why the trade union? Is their workers. You could come up with agreement that nothing in the think tank cannot be made public officially unless the government agree, unless the permanent secretary agree. I know it is. They're afraid that you might say something and say it outside. But we could start somewhere. Because I firmly believe that we have the answers. We don't need a new hospital. They're just politicians trying to some grander project that will bring us, that will turn a white elephant. We have enough space. We have enough room. In Princess Alice Hospital, we could put on 5 floors if we want. We have the land. And it makes some sense that you have 2 powerful structures rather than 1. We need more doctors. Let's train more doctors. It's not that we have not been training doctors. They don't stay. Because the big countries like a doctor after 5 years experience. The first 5 years, the doctor kill half the people that come by. But then he get real good, he stop kill half. So big hospitals want a doctor with 5 years experience. In the first 5 years, that doctor might do surgery on 50 hernias. But somebody who people he worked on, they got tetanus disease and they died. But now the doctor is more experienced. So the big hospitals take him. And you have an intern or a junior killing some people again. So what we need to do, go in parliament and pass a law, discuss it. I'm just using 3 years for every